And that's what it sounded like when my now ex-wife moved out with the dog. Just that quiet, just sitting there in the weight of it, processing the pain of the divorce, sitting alone in a house that was so quiet after so much time spent with some life and some sound. It hurt. I'd been avoiding that kind of silence my whole life. I had dealt with it a little while in the military when I served overseas, but I mostly just tolerated it by distracting myself until I got to go back to the mission and back to work. This time was different. I needed that space and that pain to process the loss of my marriage, and it was brutal. Lucky for me, I'm a clinician with 10 years of experience, and I've helped dozens and dozens of guys go through just this. And there were 3 things that those guys taught me that I used that really helped me. Hopefully one of them will help you. The first one is understand the difference between a distraction and running away. Screens, substances, and video games are great ways to pause the pain of the silence. But remember that, it's just a pause. It's not getting you anywhere, and it's just going to be waiting on the other side of it. So for me, that was rough. I'm used to just being able to distract myself. But it was always there, just waiting. And I learned from so many guys going through that, doing the same, that I really had to be tactical in how I was leveraging those distractions. There were times when I just needed to pause, and that was okay. But it couldn't be an entire night just checked out into one of them. You've got to build that capacity up to sit with yourself, to sit without the distractions, and learn how to do that. The second one is how to build that capacity. For me, I couldn't take more than 3 minutes of silence. I literally had to set an alarm on my phone to make sure that I was waiting that entire time. Everybody's a little different in what they tolerate. If you've got a meditation practice, it's probably much longer for you. For a lot of us, though, we don't have that, and I certainly didn't. You've got to start where you are, whatever that is. And then pick a time of day that you're going to do it. For me, it was the evenings, but for some guys, it's the mornings, midday. It doesn't really matter as long as it's consistent and you're giving yourself that intentional space to sit with just your own thoughts and your own breathing. Like I said, for me, it was at 3 minutes. The next week, though, it was 4. And the week after that was 5. And now, every day before bed, I spend about 15 to 20 minutes in my own head, just letting it wander. And now that there's been enough space, sometimes that wandering is really enjoyable. It's celebrating a win with a podcast or a memory with a friend. And sometimes it's space for my mind to let me know what I'm not processing. And my life is way better for it. But it started with just that 3 minutes of discomfort every day. Do the same. Pick a time a day, set a timer on your phone, and sit there with it. Learn how to tolerate that distress of just being with yourself. As you grow that capacity, you're going to use it, and it's going to make things better. And the third one, when you do fill that silence, fill it strategically. When you sit in silence, a lot of us are uncomfortable. Most people can't just do that. But we want to be careful about what you fill your time with. So I'm recording a podcast. I love podcasts and audiobooks, but it's important to make sure that for some of that time, an hour or 2 a day, it's just music in the house. Music is wonderful. It's healing. It brings you back into spaces, but it also leaves your mind room to move. When you're listening to an audiobook, TV show, or podcast, my voice or whoever you're listening to's voice is filling that space in your head. Give yourself a little bit more room and leverage music to do that. It's worked wonderfully for me. The next one is I'm a gamer. I love video games. I love the medium, the art, the beauty, and the storytelling of it. But they're also insidious. Playing a game alone, and particularly a game that's just like a puzzle game or a formulaic game, that's just checking out. Social gaming really made the difference for me. Jumping in a Discord with some friends, playing a game, something where I'm with people that I know are enjoying what I'm enjoying and appreciate me for the skill and fun I bring to the game with them. It's so much better than just sitting in front of a game all night by yourself. If you can, make sure what you're doing there is social. That social engagement through the electronics really leverages the medium in the best way possible to get the most out of the connections that we need instead of just the distractions that we're using. And whatever other ways that you fill that silence up for your distractions and to fill up the space with something useful, do that. Know that you've got tools in your pocket. Just make sure they're tools you're choosing instead of responding with. And make sure they're varied. The more different ways that you go about filling your life, the more full your life becomes and the more people get involved in it. That's what I mean when I say learn how to fill the space strategically. Pick the things that work for you and then make sure you're choosing them instead of just falling into the patterns of them. It's really going to help you feel some of that power back in your life, and it's going to help you rebuild your life after the major loss that you just went through, just like I did. So that's what worked for me. minimizing those distractions, building up the capacity for the silence, and then being really strategic in how I filled that space following up. There's going to be dozens of different ways to do this in healthy ways. What are yours? Share it in the comments so that we can help other guys find new ways that are going to be healthy in how they fill that silence for them. And if it's worth a comment, it's probably worth subscribing to. Help us bring these conversations to as many people as we can to give guys the tools they need to be better in their world. My name's Tim Winnicky. This is American Masculinity. And thanks so much for spending this time with me. We'll see you next time.